Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fishing Sim World Pro Tour. I told you I was not going to invite you on this this Recon. Where are we? Can I bring up my map? I clicked it. Nope. Can't bring up like a big map. So I told you I wasn't going to bring you on this trip for the Recon, but I am, because at the end of the day, if you don't want to watch the video, you don't have to. And if you want to see what I'm seeing, then, you know, here we are. So if you remember, this lake kind of is like a big circle, and there was a place at the top to put in at, and we found two places up there to fish, kind of. There was a place on the right, which is where we're at now, and there's a place on the bottom left, which will be the last video of the Recon, and then we'll actually start the tournament. Now, I assume that I'm going to be looking for the same getup that I looked for in the first video, which is the reeds. Oh, look up that big old fish there. Which is the reeds and the lily pads. I'm going to call them lily pads. I don't know if that's the right name, but that's just what I'm going to call them until I'm corrected. I also spent about 20 minutes at the bait shop looking at all the different like baits and lures and stuff, and I tell you folks, I don't understand. Let's just start right here for today, and I'm gonna start with that pencil, the one that goes on top of the water here. We'll start with that. I'll turn this on, and we'll tell it just to take me down the edge of this. I looked at all the different lures, the different rods, the different reels, and I don't understand the difference. I don't know if they even give a competitive difference in the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I spend $4,000 on a rod, a 9-foot rod, that has a fast action, whatever that is. I don't know if that's going to bring me any different. Man, that trolling motor just goes a little bit too quick for my taste sometimes. I just don't know what benefit that gives me in the game. Is it a look? Does it look different in the game? Is it cosmetic? Is that the only difference? Like, I really have no idea. There isn't a button you can push on these rods or reels or baits that take you to an information screen that say, this is what you're buying. Like, this is what's going to be different. Now, if you are a hardcore fisherman, I don't know if you'd be playing a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were somebody who went out all the time and you really did this stuff for real, I don't know if you'd be playing a video. I mean, maybe during the winter months you would, you know, or if you just wanted to go, poo. Sometimes it just does that. I just don't know. Reel speed 9-0. Yeah, I know that. I still have no idea what line clip is. One of these days I'll have enough courage to try it. But it would be nice. It would be nice. So if you're out there and you're playing this game with me, or if you've played it and you're watching, in the comments, please try to leave something along the lines of, hey dude, when you go to the equipment screen, hit tab, and if you hit tab, it'll bring up, you know, a bunch of information, and you'll kind of see what you're using now versus what you're buying, like what the increase will be. Because I would like to do more of the different lures for bass, but I can't find any lures, and I suspect what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go buy the add-on stuff at the Steam store, and if I buy the add-on stuff at the Steam store, I think then I'll find it, but I don't. Ooh, that sounded like a fish jumping, didn't it? That didn't sound like a wave hitting the side of the boat. Now this is a little bit deeper water. We're at 16 feet deep here, and I keep throwing for the top. I might break out the diver. But see, there's a big fish on the surface. I don't know if it's a bass or not. This lake, like I said, this lake is our first. Perfect. Good. This is our first lake where we are we don't have the small or spotted mouth bass. It's only largemouth bass, and I don't know 100% how. Whoop whoop whoop. I don't know 100% how I'm supposed to attack largemouth bass. Like, I don't know how different they are from spotted. Whoop. Oh, I never noticed that. Look at the, you see where it says 25 and where I'm reeling him in? You see where it says 5? When you get a fish on the line, it automatically changes from the 2 that I normally use to catch. It automatically turns it to the 5. The only thing I feel comfortable doing, I'll tell you this, as far as the equipment, the only thing I feel comfortable doing is changing my 7-pound test to 10-pound test. Like, that's the only thing. I was reading it, and I was like, I understand exactly what that means. I understand what 7-pound and 10-pound test. Like, I understand the difference. Like, that's the only thing I feel comfortable doing. As far as the rod length and stuff. But this is going to be a gigantic friggin' bass. Yeah, look at that thing. The way it fought, and as long as it did, that's a trophy catch. That's a 12-pound largemouth bass caught on that top spinner bait. And that was just right down the road from the put-in. The put-in was right, we can't see it because it's behind those deals, but that was just right down the road from the put-in. I think we're going to be okay. That was 16 feet of water near the bank, and on the surface, the walker lure or the pencil lure. So I think you're going to be okay. It's just that I wasn't thinking about this yesterday when... Oh, my head is right over all the information. I might have to move my head somewhere else. Only problem is if I move my head somewhere else, you guys are going to be able to see behind the scenes here. You'll be able to see my video capture. Yeah. I want to move that. I unlocked it. Let me move it. Huh. Oh, there we go. See the top left-hand corner? You'll be able to see my bedroom door. And I think the situation is just going to be exacerbated no matter where I move the camera. Let's see. Hold on. Is that perfect? Now I'm just this gigantic flying. Hey everybody. Maybe over here. Maybe you don't need to see this. Maybe it'll be right there. Right there. All right. There we go. We'll see how that works. All right, back into it. But yeah, I think I wasn't thinking about this the last time. If we had 3 species and we were catching 9 fish, it would make sense that now we're only catching 3 fish in a certain amount of time. Like if we were catching 9 fish in 20 minutes, and we weren't, but I'm just using that as an example. If we were catching 9 fish in 20 minutes, now we should be catching 3 fish in 20 minutes because 2/3 of the number of fish that we normally catch are gone. You see what I'm saying? So if 2/3 the number of fish are gone, then the overall number that we should have been bringing in. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that this tournament, in my humble opinion, this one at Lake Johnson here, this tournament isn't going to be dictated by catching a bunch of fish and just catching and having like 5 or 6 fish in the live well. It's going to be 2 fish. You're going to get to catch 2 fish here at Lake Johnson in that amount of time. And those 2 fish, they're going to make or break you, period. Like that one that we just hauled in, we fought very well and we brought it all the way into the boat. So that was great on our part. But if we fight for that thing for 3 minutes or a minute even, and we don't bring it into the boat, like we don't get a perfect strike and we don't land it, that's it. Like that's it. That's going to hurt. And that's just going to be the end of that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I need to understand this equipment because I cannot afford to lose a fish in Lake Johnson. I can't. There's just too few of them. They're too few of the ones we want, and we have to know what bait we're using. We have to know what place we're putting it. We have to know where we're going to be fishing. We have to be confident in that fishing spot. We don't need to be nervous about it. Like, oh, geez, I hope there's something here. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to need to know, and then come into this with a really winning attitude. I think there's a fish right there. I thought I saw him for a second. It would be nice if this... Am I not wearing my hat? Oh, I'm on a free fish. For a second there, I was like, where's my hat? Where are my sunglasses? I forgot I'm on a free fish. Yeah, I think I saw a fish there. I think I saw two fish. The cast before the last one and the last cast, I think I saw fish come up to the lure and they walked away from it. So I'm going to try one more time with the top lure here, the walker, and then I'm going to do I'll do one that goes into the water. Maybe the rat trap one. There's a fish right there. He's just not taking it. He's not interested. That's 3 fish that have said no thank you to this thing. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that that's a bad lure. It just means we need to be aware of that. Like, we need to see that the fish aren't interested in the one that goes on the surface. And so we need to change things up a little bit. I see now we're about, what, 4 feet deep, trolling in deeper water, and maybe they'll feel safer. Like, maybe they just don't want to go up to the surface to eat something. They're a little bit, you know, they're like, oh, no, the surface. That's where the birds are. The birds will eat us. So we give something a little bit further down in the water column, and they'll be a little bit more enticed to eat. But we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, perfect. But I kind of like the idea of not traveling far. Like, I like the idea of once we get in the boat for the tournament, we only travel like 30 seconds or a minute. Because I don't want to spend 4.5 minutes or 5 minutes traveling someplace this time. So that's why I'm kind of looking for places close to the put in. I'm not really looking like I see that big leg, that big dog leg off to the left of the put in. Like, I see that, and there's a part of me that wants to go and just kind of check it out. But there's another part of me that's like, what's your point? You're not gonna travel all the way up to that top of that dog leg. You're not gonna have the time. Okay, I'll do this one more time, and then I'm gonna have to move on. Like, we caught 1 fish here, and then the other fish, that 3 fish that came up, like, they saw the bait, like, it went right over their heads, but they were just not interested. So, you know, I don't know what that means. And I see the fish on the fish finder here, we're down at their level, so not 100% sure why they're not interested. Just in the interest of science, I will do the deep diver. I'll do 1 throw with a deep diver, then I'm going to move somewhere else and see what's up. And maybe that's what Lake Johnson is. Maybe we're going to, like, roll up on a place, cast a couple of times, get maybe 1 or 2, bites, or just catch 1 fish in 1 location with 1 lure, and then we're going to need to move. It doesn't, I don't think this is going to work. It being on the absolute bottom like that. I don't think that's a bass species. I think that's carp. That one right, he's gone now. I think that was carp. All right. So that showed a little bit of promise. I mean, it had 1 really, really, really nice bass that came out, so that was a little bit of promise. Let's just go around the end here and see what's up. Big, oh, 2 gigantic fish here on the dang bottom. You see that? There's some lilies here. Okay. All right, I'll do this. I'll fish this. And the fish finder, I don't know. Are we on the wall? Okay, yeah. The fish finder, I don't really know how I feel about it. Like, I don't know, like, if you run over fish, 6 feet, I don't know why I'm using this. Reset this. Like, I ran over those 2 gigantic fish, right? I just ran right over them. And I assume they took off running because of the, I mean, we're only in 6 feet deep of water and the motor's super duper loud. So I assume they just took off running. But with the fish finder, like, I don't know if you could track them, you know, like, I don't know if you could keep up with them. Like, if I turned on my trolling motor, you know, if I had been going a little slower and they came up on the radar, you know, could I have turned on my trolling motor and like kept track with them? Or is it one of those where you shouldn't be going 500 million miles an hour? You should be going a little bit slower. Oh, I get it now. I kept looking at these rods, and some of the rods have this weird, gigantic, flat flay, right? Like this big, flat, flayed end to them, and I was like, man, that would get in the way. Like if you were throwing it, right, or if you were trying to reel it in. But like now I get it because it gives you leverage. You can put your. I'm gonna reel this in, then I'll show you what I'm talking about. It'd be great if I could show you on this rod that I'm holding, but I don't think I can. I think I get it now. Bring this in. You see at the bottom there of his rod how it's kind of like there's like a pummel, right? There's a large counterweight. Yeah, that counterweight is going to balance the fishing rod, right? So that you can hold it in the middle and you don't feel this torque, you don't feel this spinning force. But also some of the other rods I was looking at today, that counterbalance, that pummel is this gigantic fat splayed out pummel. It's not consolidated. It's a fan, and that's because if you are trying to reel the fish in, that fan will hit your arm, and you can use it as a counterweight, right? That big fan, or you can put it into your gut, your tummy, and as you pull up and as you're reeling up, like that's into your tummy. So it's like it's a way to give leverage to the fishing rod, but it also distributes the weight out so it doesn't like dig into you. That's pretty cool. I think that's what that is. Again, I don't fish for real life. I kept seeing that on some of the really expensive ones, and I was like, why? Like, what's this gigantic fan? And I would assume that is for very large fish. Like, I would not think that you would need it for bass. That would probably be for a fish that's 50 pounds. I would not think for a moment that you would need that to catch a 12-pound fish. However, like, I don't know the length of the rod either. Like, I kept seeing like 9-foot rods versus 7 or 6 foot, and I was like, I don't know why you'd want more length. And see that, like, they have flavor text, right? They have this like flavor when you're reading it, like this rod is ideal for anglers who need to get precision, blah blah blah. And I was like, how does the length of the rod yield precision? Right? Like, how does 2 or 3 more feet on the rod, like, how does that yield precision? I'm getting nothing here. Like, I see stuff go by, but I'm not getting anything that's like. I saw those 2 big fish, one atop the other. But oh, see, there it is, another big fish. So there might be big fish here, but I don't know. I can't go too much farther. I really don't want to drive a long time for a fishing spot. I want to try these reeds. I want to try that. So far, the only thing that I've caught a lot of fish on is the pencil, is the walker. But that, I mean, also I find myself drawn to these lily pads too, so it might not be that's what's preferred. It might just be that's where I'm fishing. And that's what gets the job done where I'm at. But I think bass are opportunistic hunters. Like, I think they are hide and eat predators. I don't know. I just gotta Google it, I guess. I wonder how accurate it would be. I wonder if I googled like Lake Johnson bass, like I wonder if like Siri would know. I wonder if she would know. Let's find out. Lake Johnson, Florida, largemouth bass fishing. There's a bass, there's a fish right there.
According to Dovetail Live, Dovetail Games. Located in the sun-soaked flatlands of Florida, Lake Johnson offers stunning fishing where trophy-sized largemouth bass can grow over 12 lb. Boat docks provide the fish with shelter from the hot sun, whilst areas of bulrush, lily pads, and hydrilla will test your different retrieval techniques.
Boat docks, huh? Boat docks, huh? That's interesting. There was another fish, by the way, that came up right underneath that lure, just like the other two fish at the previous location. It did the exact same thing. I know you probably can't see it on your monitor, and that's just because of the recording quality. It's just not that great, and the sun seems to be omnipresent, where no matter what angle we fish at, the sun's always in our eyes. But right there, there's a fish swimming away. There was like this thing literally went right over the top of that fish, and it just swam away from it. I wonder if I'm supposed to stop it. Let me try that. Let me throw it, and then as this thing goes over the top of the fish, let me just stop the lure and see what happens. I'm trying to look over at the recording software and see if you can see what I see. Perfect. Good. All right, we have another. We're fighting another fish. Pencil bait in the lilies. But this, it's 21 minutes. So, but I think we started right at the dock. Like I mean, if we were doing the tournament, we would have had one 12-pound fish. But we've caught nothing on the rat L trap or the diver. Now we haven't given those two as much time as the pencil, but I kind of think the pencil and the lily pads, I think that's the way to go. Different retrieval techniques. Did it mean to say retrieval techniques, or did it say like different lures? There you go, into the boat. Whew. Look at that. Jeez, man. 14 pounds, 14 ounces. Holy crap, that's a gigantic fish. My God, that's gigantic. Let's go do a dock. Let's go do a dock. Maybe we're doing this all wrong. Let's go find a dock. All right, now let's think about this, okay? So we're gonna go to a dock. Do I want to try to do the on top of the surface bait near the dock, or do I want to try to do the rat trap where it kind of goes a little bit lower? There's the put in right there, by the way. We have 3 docks over here. I'm gonna do right just like this. Look at that, there's docks right here, and there's the lilies. And these people are probably like, hey, you get to go away. These are probably like pet bass, if there's any here. Which I don't see any on the radar, so I doubt. It's not letting me cast. Am I too close to the shore? Am I too close to the put-in dock? Like, what's the dealio, yo? Yeah, it's not letting me cast. That's interesting. Maybe I'm too close to the dock. Maybe I'm too close to the put-in point. Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah. Could not cast. I'm probably way too close to the put-in point. All right. Well, good to know. Good to know. We didn't burn 33 seconds. All right. So all we got were 2 bass. One was 12 and one was 14 pounds, and we caught them about 18 minutes apart. So you see what I'm saying is we cannot spend time driving places. We just can't do that. Not if we're going to fish like we're going to try to fish, where we're going to try to hit these lily pads. I'm just trying to find a dock now, but I don't really see a lot of docks up this way. There's not a lot of people who live here on the lake, which is nice. Look at the gigantic friggin' fish that live there, huh? Okay. Well, I think I have my 2 spots. If they put me in here, I'm going to go to the end of that. Look at out here in the middle. Look at all the fish out here. Like, I don't know. Are those bass, you think? 23 feet, 23 foot deep water here? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think they're bass. See, that's what I was looking for, though. What Siri said here. A guide. They have a guide to Lake Johnson on Dovetail. Is that who makes this game? It is. Largemouth bass. Lake record. Largemouth lake record is 15 pounds 5 ounces. So that largemouth that we pulled out over there, that 14 pound, that was almost a lake record. If that guy had just eaten a little bit more Wheaties in the morning. Hotspots on the lake include Lily Shores, Magnus Island, Casey Cove, and Baker's Bay. Hotspots. Lily Shores. Magnus Island. Casey's Cove. Okay. And Baker's Bay. Okay. Interesting. So, those 3 I just told you about are 4. Lily Shores, Magnus Island, Casey's Cove, Baker's Bay. Of those, 2 of the put-ins are on top of those. We're in Casey's Cove right now. Baker's Bay, what are you doing? You're giving me a fit, son. What are you doing? Oh, I didn't reel it all the way in yet. Baker's Bay is the recon we haven't done yet, and then the recon at the top, there's nothing around that. The closest one to the one at the top is Lily Shores, but that's halfway to the other put-in. Okay, so... And that's it. That's all the information we have. That's all the information we have. It doesn't tell us anything about how to fish for largemouth bass. It just tells us where the hot spots are. But we're at one of the hot spots right now. Like, this is Casey's Cove is supposed to be it. So I think we're good. I'm okay to I'm okay to call this a video. I think I have 2 spots I'm okay with. I want to go over, turn right around real quick and just show you. So, anything along this part right here, I'm okay with fishing. So I would be okay fishing that little reed part right there. I'd be okay fishing that one right there. The one that we hit was right up here. The one that we hit right off the bat was like right here, and that's where we caught our first fish. So I'm okay fishing this one. And then there's that place right over there that we caught the 14 pounder, which I guess we probably should hang out next to that one, the 14 pounder. Here's a dock. Here's a dock. I wonder if it'll let us cast here next to the dock. It will. So this is the only dock that I've seen in this recon. What the crap was that? What the crap was that? Okay. Better. I guess I had changed it to God knows what. Anyway, so I think up here in this area, because there's not that many docks, why fight it? Why not just go and do the lilies? But I think you see where we're going with this. I think you know what where we're going to be fishing. And again, I know that these videos are not the most exciting, but at the same time, you know, if you just bought this game, you're gonna be just like me. You know, like you don't know where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do. You don't know what some of this stuff is. So I feel like that this isn't necessarily a guide, because I am playing this with the specific idea of like doing well in the career mode and getting more endorsements and more money that way. Like I really want to make that happen. And I am coming into this as an amateur fisher. Like I'm coming in with like someone who doesn't have a lot of experience whatsoever. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though it's boring, this is kind of the necessary boring that you have to do. Like you have to scout your fishing areas, you know, like that's just part of the game. And I didn't think that was quite necessary. Like I thought the career mode, we would get to kind of like, I knew there would be a circuit and I knew they'd take us different places, but man, that one where we came in dead last, like that to me is still humiliating, you know. I still can't believe we did as bad as we did. I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try to go down the length of the deal and see if we can't just pull it out from the length. You know what I mean? Oh, look at that big old friggin' fish there. We had a huge one on the fish finder. 2 big ones on the fish finder. Holy crap. Perfect strike. Here we go. Nice looking fish there. I don't think he's going to be quite as big as the other one, though. Or, you know, if we can find a place like this dock here, like if we can pull them out from this dock, just like we did, kind of come in, turn on the trolling motor, ease into them. And that might be something that we have to do. That might be the function of the trolling motor, where if you roll in with your gigantic engines on, you're going to scare every fish, and then the trolling motor lets you at least move into more fish that aren't as spooked, you know. So with those lilies, that might be what we need to do. And instead of just rolling up to the lilies and just stopping and jumping out and start fishing, maybe we stop about 100 yards off, turn on the trolling motor. Ah, God bless it. Mm. I can't do two things at once. I can't talk and do this at the same time. Ah. I think you understand what I'm trying to say with regards to the trolling motor. Man, that sucked. Because that thing was putting up a fight. That was like our 14-pound fight. Maybe not 14 pounds, but that was still quite a fight. That was still quite a fight. I'll do one over there too. Just where we lost him, just in case. Just in case. That was a good set too. That was, I don't think it was perfect. I think it was good though, but that was a good set. That was poor. Oh no! God dang it! Oh. Oh God. Oh man. That's funny. That's funny. 14 pound, 15 pound, gigantic one that got away. 1 pound. I didn't even know they came out that little. I didn't even know they came out that little. Let's try to hit this over here too. All right, it'll be our last one. It'll be our last one. I think we know where we're going. I think we have an idea. We'll hit the lilies up here. If we spawn up here, we'll hit the lilies up here. We'll be using the pencil bait, the walker. If we drag that pencil bait, that walker, if we drag it over the fish 2, 3, 4 times and they're just not interested, we'll go to this rat L trap deal here. We'll throw that in 4 or 5 times. And if we have 4 or 5 times with the pencil bait and they're not interested, and 4 or 5 times with the L trap, they're not interested, we'll go to the other fishing spot. We'll do the pencil bait there, and then we'll switch to the L bait there, and yeah, like that'll be our setup. I don't think we're gonna go to deep water. We're not gonna try to do the diver in deep water. I think we're gonna be surface and like 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, mid range. Think that's where we want to be. And even right now, see, we're not catching anything off this. I mean, I'm not going for the dock anymore, but I'm not getting anything. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Is it time for another election? I'm getting political emails now. Is it time? Is it time for another election? I feel like it is. Didn't I say that was the last cast? I feel like I said that. All right, folks. I hate to leave on a 1 pound small largemouth bass, but you know, what are you going to do? Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.